I'm honored to have with me today spokesman from the Iraqi security forces, and we have Brigadier General Sadman, spokesman for the Ministry of Interior.
Historical days that we managed to achieve our victory with your help, with the help of our friends for the coalition forces and also the American friends. Yes, it is a historical days. I'm very proud about what we achieved, especially if we compare the situation in 2014 and what we are doing now. General Yahya Rasul, maybe he mentioned all the situation and he give you a picture about what's going on. I want to emphasize on some points. One of it, it's we managed to make our policemen have the ability to do their job again, and we managed to build the bridge between police, Nineveh police, and federal police, and our society, our people in Mosul, which was a very important issue. Because if we go for the indication about what happened on the last time, especially in 2014, I think it was really the weak point there. So we managed, and today at morning, the police of Nineveh also managed to kill 3 of the Daeshian who are trying to annoy the others from West Bank to the East Bank, and they were monitoring them and they managed to kill them. Also, maybe it is the first time that a police, which is the federal police, and it is a unique job for them, managed to fight and to score their job side by side with the army. And really, the federal police now, we are depending on them in so many axes, and they are doing their best. Maybe there is a question, what will we do after Daesh, especially in Nineveh? Ministry of Interior prepare everything. The Directorate of Nineveh Police and also the federal police will manage to, with the help of Nineveh people, to maintain the security inside in Mosul and also inside the other cities for Nineveh. We opened 19th section in Nineveh and 34 police stations, and also other institute belong for Ministry of Interior. Now we have about 7,048 case what is raised by the Nineveh people, and we managed to tackle 4,033 of them, and still we are following up 3,145 of these cases. When we're talking about cases, and we are talking about policing, and when we are talking about judicial system, it means life in Nineveh. Now it is ordinary, and we are going forward for another steps is to help Nineveh government to rebuild Nineveh again.
Can you talk a little bit about what you'd like to see from the coalition and also from the Peshmerga forces as you move ahead to the fight for Tal Afar and along the Euphrates River Valley? And do you want any additional support in the stabilization of Mosul?
Regarding in relation to the battle in Tal Afar and or what we quite frankly need from the coalition, on top of what's been mentioned by Brigadier General Yahya and the Prime Minister, who stated 3 days ago, he was very clear in his statement. We will not, he stated, we will not anyone to commit violations against human rights or abuse of power. And if there's any controversy or issue, there was an immediate investigation, whether it's an individual behavior, because we need to make sure that they don't relate to the military institutions. There are individuals who wanna there are those who would like to make those victories made by the military of Iraq are not as significant. So there is a lot of fabrications and rumors and false news regarding what happened there. What we'd like we would like from the international or global coalition is the continuous support to Iraqi forces to complete its missions of liberating the remaining areas, whether it's Tal Afar or Al-Huwayja or other areas according to the map, based on the priorities of the joint military operations. And also to focus of returning security and stabilization of the liberated areas. This also requires additional training and providing the basic services and cameras and surveillance equipment so that we'll be able to stabilize the area. Before we arrived to Washington, a few days ago, before our arrival to Washington, there was what's called the mobile police units that's been established prior to our arrival, and we are gratefully received that support and those vehicles from the coalition countries, and we will distribute it to the liberated areas to secure the citizens. And they might have other duties, and also would like to help the border control units to do their job.
We wouldn't be sitting here today if Mosul had not fallen. And part of the reason, a lot of the blame was because of the Iraqi security forces and their inabilities. There was a lot of melting away when a small group of ISIS fighters sort of came towards Mosul about 3 years ago. Now that Mosul's been retaken, can you sort of talk to the Iraqi people and the coalition who are supporting you why they should trust the Iraqi security forces now when just 3 years ago they were incapable of holding territory against a small group of ISIS fighters?
Of course, all world armies, they fight in wars. Some battles are different than other battles in its nature, but what counts are the end results. True. Daesh is not fighting Daesh is a global fight. It's not only an Iraqi war. Many countries, the whole globe is suffering from the presence of their cells and units. Nobody is immune to Daesh's existence or ISIL. Therefore, nobody fights face to face on the ground facing those groups other than Iraqi forces today. Therefore, the Iraqi victory is a victory for all who love peace in the world. Currently, you one of reclaiming this city, Mosul city. But after you liberate all the areas, do you have an Iraqi strategy or another strategy in cooperation with the international coalition so to guarantee that they won't return to Mosul or any other province of the country? Coming battle is the battle of information. The intelligence information is the coming phase of this battle. Currently, they try to have attacks against civilians out of desperation, but they don't have any control to any land. Therefore, there is an emphasis on 2 points. First of all, to build the intelligence information and also gain the trust of the citizens, so they will be part of this intelligence gathering. Without the help of the citizens, we won't go forward in any step forward, and that's how we succeeded. To prove it, in Al-Anbar and Fallujah and Ramadi, the information, the accurate information about any movement or any attempt of a sleeping cell comes to us in a timely fashion from the people, from our citizens in Mosul, similar to what happened in Mosul. Today, we have a very solid relation between the security apparatus and the Iraqi or Mosuli citizen. Anybody who follows closely the security affairs of Iraq, especially in the last 2 weeks, you can know that we killed more than 10 suiciders from tips we got from the citizens. So the coming phase is the information phase and the intelligence gathering phase.
Brigadier General Sadman, how many Iraqi police do you expect will be needed to hold Mosul?
When it comes to the police of Nainawa, currently we have, on top of what I mentioned of the different police stations, we have 16 emergency units, and out of their duties are securing territory, participating in fight, securing law and order. The Prime Minister gave permission of the sending 21,000 creating 21,000 new jobs in Al-Anbar. Also, in those regions, in Nainawa and Anbar, it created more jobs for young people and young men to secure their areas. And in that way, at the same time, we are securing the internal security and safety of those regions. On top of that, the Ministry of Interior, thankfully with the support of the Prime Minister, we expanded the number of new recruits, and they could be 18,000 new police officers that would be sent to that province. Of course, we've done a feasibility study, and this has not been done haphazardly. We studied the needs of human resources there, and we focus on training and increasing their capacity so that they'll be able to be qualified police forces that are capable of fighting. And even the current police forces available in those provinces are diverse, representing those areas ethnically and sectorially. Therefore, to be honest, the support is continuous and open from the Ministry of Interior to these liberated areas when it comes to providing them with the needed number of forces to secure it and keep them in hand, and also logistically. The government of Iraq thinks that liberation, after liberation, there's another phase and a big role played by the police officers, and the security file will be transferred to the police officers.
General, you were talking about having the trust of the people of Mosul to help you secure the city in the weeks and months to come. What would you tell them after some of these videos have surfaced of small groups of Iraqi soldiers committing atrocities against potential ISIS fighters?
Again, the Minister of Interior, we are responding to we're trying to respond to this matter very swiftly. There is an American outlet that published a picture of torturing an element of ISIL. Immediately, the Prime Minister and the Minister of the Interior, they created an investigative committee, and through the Internal Affairs Directorate, they follow the conduct and the behavior of all the forces, and quite frankly, we looked and suspended the number of those forces shown in those pictures, and there's currently an investigation being conducted, and we will publish the results of this investigation. Let me say that there might be some misbehavior or inappropriate conduct by some of the forces, yes, but the investigation is going on. However, let me emphasize, we are against any violation against any human being, and this is the position of the government. We'd like to be also transparent. There's nothing for us to hide. Yes, the right of having the information and the results of the investigation is open to all the media personnel and also all members of the community.